What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. I am so excited to make this video because the Raptors have finally done it. They have signed Chrisitian Koloko to an NBA contract. In fact, I was so excited to make this video for you guys. I was working out when I got the notification and I had to stop my workout and drive home because I wanted to provide this update for you guys. So for today's video, I'm going to break down his contract details. I'm also going to talk about his potential with the Raptors and how he could potentially impact the Raptors in the near future. So if you're ready to watch this video, guys, let's try to get this video to 150 likes. Give it a thumbs up. If you want to hit the subscribe button as well, let's get one sub closer at a time to 4,000. That'd be very much appreciated as well. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to Serge Sambarak. So Serge, thank you so much for supporting this channel through likes and comments. It is very much appreciated. Now, let's give a huge shout out to Blake Murphy, who provided this update. I believe he was the first one to report this on Twitter, and he tweeted out that the Raptors used a remaining chunk of their mid-level to sign Koloko to a 3-year deal per a source. Koloko will get $1.5 million this year and his minimum in years 2 and 3. Now, personally, right off the bat, guys, this is a great deal because you're giving him $1.5 million. Take into consideration that the players drafted before him and after him, which I broke down a couple of videos ago, and Caleb Houston, Andrew Nembhard got about 4 years, $8 million. And Jalen Williams, I believe, who was drafted after Chrisitian Koloko, got the same amount of money as well. So this is a really good deal just in terms of money-wise. $1.5 million is good, but I also like the length of the contract. 3 years is a good amount of time to evaluate a player, especially a player like Chrisitian Koloko, who's still very raw. I think the Raptors will have him in a similar role as they did with Delano Banton. Maybe give him a few more minutes because obviously the Raptors do need a rim protector. But let's talk about Chrisitian Koloko. This offseason, he has had a lot of Rico Hines runs. And I think one player that will really benefit from having someone like a Chrisitian Koloko on the Raptors squad is Fred VanVleet. You've seen him finally get a little bit more active in passing the ball and also just in pick and rolls. I think Fred VanVleet would really accelerate, especially when you have a 7-foot center in Chrisitian Koloko, who's really a lob threat. Let's be honest, he's active on the boards, but he's also a lob threat, and this just gives Fred VanVleet more of an opportunity to attack the rim if he does draw the defenders in. Then you have Chrisitian Koloko right there waiting for an alley-oop, and we've seen that this offseason in those runs. Again, I know they're just basketball runs, and I don't want to put too much emphasis on those, but in the limited times and the limited games or limited runs, I should say, we've seen him in, he looks good. But let's also talk about how Chrisitian Koloko will impact the Toronto Raptors. Now, obviously, the Raptors, we know, ever since we've lost Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol, they have really needed a big man. And although they have a decent one in Precious Achiuwa, I believe Precious Achiuwa is more of a power forward in the old NBA. Even in modern NBA, I think he's good at protecting the rim, not necessarily shot blocking, but contesting the shot. And he's obviously a really good center, but I think it really benefits the Raptors when you have a 7-foot center, a legit 7-foot center who can really just block shots. And he's got decent foot speed for someone his size as well. Now, obviously, Chrisitian Koloko is a really hard worker because in his entire season, I believe last season in college, he didn't hit a single three-pointer. I could be wrong on that. You can hold me accountable, but I believe he didn't hit one single threes. Yet when we saw practices after he finished college, he was hitting a lot of them. And even in his draft combine, I believe he was the top 3 players in his three-pointers made. And that's a huge jump for someone like a Chrisitian Koloko because it shows that he's willing to put in the effort, which is what the Raptors look for. Like, think of someone like a Pascal Siakam when he wasn't able to shoot threes, and the following season he came in. I can't remember exactly what season it was, but he did such a good job of making sure he's hitting those threes efficiently and also taking the right amount of threes. So I think Chrisitian Koloko is on that part, not necessarily in terms of the player he'll become like Pascal Siakam, but I do believe he could have an impact with the Raptors like that. He's still very raw. Like I said, guys, offensively, I think if he can continue to work on his 3-point shooting and just really finishing at the rim, those are just 2 aspects of his games that he really just needs to work on. And I think he's going to definitely get some time with the Raptors 905, but you'll definitely see him play 10, 15 minutes a game as well. So personally, I'm very excited that the Raptors not only signed him because it took a while, as you guys know, to finally sign him to an NBA contract. There was all sorts of speculations as to what was going on. Perhaps it was Kevin Durant. But then we got news about 3 days ago that Kevin Durant said he's staying with the Brooklyn Nets, and it's no coincidence that the Raptors announced a signing just a few days later that they have signed Chrisitian Koloko to an NBA contract. So personally, guys, I'm really excited. I want to see his development grow throughout the years. This is a good amount of time. Obviously, 2 years would have been too short because if he does burst out, let's say in the next couple seasons, you're going to have to pay him a significant amount. But 3 years is a good time because you got him on a cheap contract but you also got him on a decent deal. It's not a 4-year contract where he's in there in case, again, it's very unlikely he does, given the fact that the Raptors have a very good developmental system, but it's very unlikely he's a bust. But he's obviously going to have to improve a lot in terms of his offensive game, but just also overall awareness, and which is, I think, that's going to come with time. He didn't play basketball, I believe, into his late teens. He was much like Pascal Siakam, where he played soccer, and of course, it's so funny because he just ends up being, from Cameroon as well. But let's see what happens. I'm personally very excited about Christian Koloko. I think he's got great potential with the Raptors. He's already a really good rim protector, which is something the Raptors need. And given his height, that's an absolute bonus, because once he starts hitting those threes, the Raptors have the perfect big man they're looking for. So personally, I'm very excited. I think the Raptors could do wonders with him. That 3-year deal, 3 years from now, even 2 years from now, I think it's going to look like an absolute steal. Again, given the fact that he's being paid $1.5 million this year and a little bit less, the very minimum, the next in his years 2 and 3. So I'm excited. I think he's going to do very well with the Toronto Raptors. And I think he's also going to really impact Fred VanVleet in terms of finally having someone he can play pick and roll with, but also Malachi Flynn as well, right? So again, we'll see what happens with these guys in terms of lob threat, in terms of how he develops offensively. And obviously you want to see him get a lot of NBA minutes, which I don't doubt he will. Nick Nurse has already hinted at that. He said he's going to get about 10-15 minutes a game, and we'll see how his development goes. And the Raptors may even change their defensive schemes up. I'll save that for another video, guys. I will break that down maybe in the next video, but I do want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this signing? Do you think the Raptors should have signed him to a longer contract? Do you think he's got paid a decent amount? What do you think of this contract? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Unfortunately, guys, I do not have a trivia question for you today. I wanted to give you guys a chance for those who may not answer the trivia question right away. Whoever wants a shout out can let me know in the comment section. I'll give you a shout out in my next video as well. But that's it for today's video, guys. So I just want to thank you guys for your support of this channel, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.